Okay, I'm on one of these websites that lists all the variants and keeps track of them. Here are the variants of concern. This one, AY1, is actually the Indian Delta with something else added to it. So it's very similar. And you've got AY2, and you got second. These are the ones of concern. You've got B1 from Brazil. You've got B.1.617.2 from India. You've got B.1.351 from South Africa. You've got B.1.1.7 from Kent in the UK. You've also got one which is very similar to it, but it's got the mutation E4K4K, 484K, which allows it sort of gets around some of the vaccines, allows for an escape. And P1 from Brazil has developed another two variants. And then you've got the variants of interest. They're quite bad as well. For example, these ones here, the 1427, the 1429, the Californian devil. Um, this one here, I think is the one in Mexico. I'm not certain, but I think it's the one in Mexico. Maybe it's not the one in Mexico. Uh, this one here is from Nigeria. The B1526 is from New York, and that's also got B1526.1, B1526.2, B1526.3, and so on. And here's some of the Indian variant again. We had the dot two before, now we've got dot one, dot three, and you got the one without a dot. You got this C37, which has arisen in Chile. You got P2, is also from Brazil, and P3 from the Philippines. So it lists all the ones that they're worried about. When I first wrote about this in January, there were only about two or three, and I said that it's going to double every 2 months. So, from 3, it went to 6, went to 12, next step will be 24, then it'll be 48, and I'll keep doing this. These are the variants of concern only. But there are a lot more variants than this, and if I see if I can find them, location tracker, maybe that's how I got some. Select location, let's pick a location. Chile, go, whatever. Not change location, change mutation I want. Maybe I picked on one of these. Change mutation, that's it. So I'm going to look at the Pango images, and it says to pick one. I'm going to just type in A. These are all the ones with A. In brackets, you have the number of times it's been found. Now, not everyone who gets COVID gets the variant on the sequence, but like a fraction do, and this is how many of each of the A variants they've found. So this one that's quite dangerous is AY.1. There's only 167, but it's all new. It's just starting to grow. Look at all the A's. All right. Now, I predicted 2,000 variants by mid-May, and look at all the B's here. I mean, that's got to be a good 50. I'm just rolling the cursor down. 100, 200, 300, 400, 500, 600, 700, 800, 900, 1,000. I'm still rolling it. I'm probably about 2,000, 3,000, maybe 4,000, just, I don't know, I'm just rolling down, okay, just finished. And we actually know a lot of these. For example, the B117 is the one from UK, from Kent. The B.1.2, I think, is the original Wuhan, or maybe it's the B1. You've got the B1617.2, that's the Indian variant. You've got the B.1526, is the New York variant. These two here, the 1427 and 1429, are the Californian Devil. The B1351 is the one from South Africa, and so on and so forth. You can go through and find out exactly where they come from. But they basically form because there are too many people infected. There's also ones with C, beginning with C. This is the new one, C37. It's just risen in Chile, where more than half the people are vaccinated. The problem is that the more vaccines, the more variants, the more infected people, the more chances we're going to develop variants that are going to get around any of the vaccines. And we can tweak them a little bit, but not too much. We don't want the vaccine to look too much like the actual virus, because then it will start causing harm. I mean, it already does cause harm. I mean, it's going to get even worse. What we need to do is to get the number of infections down, the number of variants, the number of mutations is proportional to the number of people that are actively infected, and to time. So at the moment, the number of actively infected fell over the last month or two, but it's starting to rise again, because most of Europe's been in lockdown, trying to get the numbers down as much as possible so they can open up in summer. So once they open up in summer, it's just going to go poof. You know, it'll just start again. And in 2 months, instead of having 3,000 to 4,000 variants, we'll have 6,000 to 8,000. So instead of having, like at the moment, I don't know, 16 variants that we're really concerned about, in 2 months, we'll have 32. Then another 2 months later, it'll be 64. These are the ones that we're going to be really worried about. And the number of variants is going to get into the 10,000s, 20,000s, and just keeps going. What we really need to do is the lockdown. We need to lock down, get the number of infected people down. We don't even need the vaccines. We can get rid of this virus by simply stopping it from transmitting from person to person. Being vaccinated does not mean that you can't get infected and transmit the virus. So vaccines do not solve the problem. Plus, you need vaccines that have an efficacy that is really high, that is like above 90, 95%. Plus, you need 95% of the people to get vaccinated. I want to look at this one here. Go. Okay, this is the Indian variant. About 3 months ago on Twitter, I was saying that we should quarantine and isolate India, because this new variant was starting to take hold. Now, this has happened in like 2 months. It's spread from India to all these countries here. Look at them. Every country in Europe, North, South America, Australia, Indonesia, Japan, everywhere. It's just completely crazy. And every variant that comes along that is infectious will in fact do the same thing. We are in deep shit.